Sunday night, the gang unites. Claire and Rogue shining bright. Mark and Raven cruising through. Sometimes Chris joins the crew. PooDoo Croo, the Pro-X and Flow. Going off the rails we go. Join the chat, be part of the show. Every Sunday night, let's go. PooDoo Croo.
I don't know what this is. I guess it's my move now. What's going on, friends of the podcast, friends of Proaxium, friends of the Star Wars nature? This is the PooDoo Croo. Happy Sunday night. We are super excited because we have a lot of feelings to talk about this week on the podcast. I am Claire, and of course I have my bro host, Chris Ryans.
What to do, people?
A lot.
Yeah.
It's do a lot. That it do. And Raven.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, lovely to see you in these trying times.
You too. I miss you guys so much. I haven't talked to you in like an hour.
Like at least 30 minutes. Yeah, how's it going, everybody? How's your week been? Hi, everybody in the chat.
Hi, everybody in the chat. I have friends everywhere.
Explain.
I gotta go to YouTube right now to make sure.
Yeah.
That's some kind of emoji that StreamYard does not support.
Yeah.
You know? Anywho.
It is. It's a foam finger.
Andor,
That's nice.
Right?
Oh, okay. Is that what it is? What did you say, Ray?
Are we recovering from Andor?
No.
Is that what we're doing this week?
We have not been.
There are many feelings, and there are also trends that I'm seeing within the fan base. A lot of coming together, good and bad, and kind of indifferent that we may get into tonight. But yeah. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. Claire put up she sent me a video like right afterwards. Right after, where it was like, this is me before Andor finale, this is me after, and she was fine. She was fine in the beginning, and an absolute mess. Yeah, an absolute mess by the end of it. So yeah, let's talk about it, Claire. Let's talk about it, Raven. Let's go.
I'd like to take this opportunity to start off by thanking CoverGirl for their brand of waterproof mascara that I use. I'd like to start there. CoverGirl doing the heavy lifting. Lifting. Because I'm fine. It's hard because I don't know. Do we want to go through the arc as it like it's? No, we're gonna jump all over the place.
I mean, go wherever you want to go, and we'll just keep popping back to wherever, you know what I mean.
So Rogue One is my favorite Disney Star Wars. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Movie. Movie. And I love Cassian. I've always loved Diego Luna. The drink of the day, by the way, is a margarita. Patron margarita with a Death Star ice mold
Nice.
in honor of my favorite Star Wars space Mexican, Diego Luna. We had to go margaritas today. Luthen did not joke when he said that he was going to burn his life for a sunset that he will never see. Mm-hmm. And so did Cassian at the end of Rogue One with that explosion of the Death Star. But it is literally that a sunrise that he'll never see, but his son will see.
Yeah.
And
I'm not well. I'm not well.
It's okay. It's okay to not be well.
I was so worried. And like, we know how Rogue One ends, right? And it is a story of hope. That movie, it's so dark and there's so much loss and there's so much pain and there's so much grief, but it is a story of hope. And without that, and without these sacrifices that none of this would all be Empire all the time for the rest of the days, you know? And no, I was really scared. More people started dropping like flies, and it ended on a hopeful feeling. Which I'm like, thank God. Thank God. Because we know that this is really ending with Rogue One. The story ends with Rogue One, but it now... What if his son joins the Resistance? What? I have so many feelings.
I'm glad that it, like, I was wondering, like, is this going to end on a downer? Or
I thought it might.
It's just going to lead, it's going to absolutely lead into Rogue One without, like some kind of, I know overused the word hope, but some kind of hope, even though we know that's coming. And they, as they say, they stuck the landing.
Yeah, they did.
Sure did. I think it was hopeful, but I also think it's the beginning of a war. It's the beginning of a long conflict. Mm-hmm. And I've said from the beginning that for me, what makes Andor so fantastic is the fact that it's telling the stories we don't often hear. It's not talking about the big heroes. It's talking about people who do things that most of us wouldn't have the stomach to do, even for the right cause. And people who sacrifice and give up and don't get schools named after them and don't
get medals.
You know what I mean?
Yavin.
And it's just so rare that we have that, where we really truly tell the story of those people. Because normally we're telling it in the service of the hero. And in this case, not that Cassian Andor and everyone else in the show isn't a hero. They are. Absolutely. But they're not the ones who, people talk about, generally speaking, because they're the people you don't know, because they're the people that do the stuff that, might not be as palatable as other stuff. So, I think that it's been that way from the beginning to me, so that it wasn't as much about hope for me as it was about seeing the culmination of that. And it's good and it's bad. Yeah. And the way that it affects the people we know. I mean, the Mon we have at the end compared to what we've had the rest of the series, that whole situation. And I've seen a lot of social media talk about that whole situation. Like it's this terrible thing that she's now, dowdy and not doing. And it's just like, you might be missing the point. Yeah. You might really, really be missing the point. And, I would compare it to anybody out there who's a parent, the mess doesn't matter. I am taking care of my child. I have rescued my child. My child is in danger. I don't give a crap what I look like. You know what I mean? And I mean, I'm not dogging those people out, but it is something that I saw a bunch. And it's just like, you might be missing the deeper point here. This is about the sacrifices that she's had to make. And when she's living in a world where everything she does has to fall under the category of the utmost importance, here is where I draw the line as to what is and isn't important. Yeah. And I think that too in itself is a message that needs to be heard, because people go through tough times and they beat themselves up that they don't look the way they want to, or, whatever the case may be. And it's like, dude, priorities. Okay. Priorities. Sometimes those things are going to fall to the wayside because they're not as important. And so long as you're not, going overboard with it, I haven't, you know what I mean? So
fuel your body, take care of yourself.
Yeah. Fuel your body, like eating stuff, but like, everybody has those times. And then I just want to say early in the show, because I think it needs to be said, I owe Tony Gilroy and Alistair McKenzie an apology that I didn't love Perrin, because I still hated that guy, even if he did start to grow on me. But you never gave him a chance to redeem himself to the point where I was suddenly going to like him, when you made him such an oily bohunk in the beginning. Yeah. Okay. I said what I said. I'm not going to apologize for it. I didn't like him.
I will say one thing,
on me
though.
A little, but
yeah. And I wish, one thing that I wish we got in that finale which honestly, what we got was the most important footage, and I will stand on that business. I will absolutely stand on that. One thing that Tony Gilroy did mention that got cut from the final episodes of Andor was a little subplot with Perrin and Lita.
Right.
Because it was not the most important subplot to wrap up. And basically Disney was like, they cut it. There was going to be stuff that got cut. But I want to see it.
Yeah.
Deleted scenes.
The thing, it's like, I
the
get it. If that
scenes.
stuff hadn't been cut, I would have maybe come around on him more than just like, well, maybe he's not as bad as I thought. You know what I mean?
Because I want to know what he thinks. The fact that it wasn't
in there, you can't be mad at us for hating that guy. You made him eminently hateable, okay?
I had to remain silent with my not hating Perrin, because I don't know how people are like, oh, Chris, that's fucked up. You should be hating him, or, you know, something like that.
Okay,
because
he wasn't that bad, Chris.
No, but it's like he was. You know, some people hate it. You see online, people hate this motherfucker. But what it is for me is us knowing who Mon Mothma is and what she does, and yet she said it, even those deleted scenes for Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, like, you know, even those deleted scenes from Revenge of the Sith, they have to keep all this shit secret from their families. So she's leading this double life. They don't know it. They all think that, you know, and Perrin and Leda, and much like Leda got on my nerves with some of her, but that's teenager shit.
That's being a teenager. I hope.
But for Leda is like, you know, you are not a present mother.
Yeah.
For Perrin, it's not being a present wife, or, you know, depending on what their relationship is, because it's an arranged marriage kind of thing.
Yeah.
But he also was like pretty sure that she was cheating on him with someone, and thinking it was, you know, liability, and it so, you know, so that's been going. So that has been like my mindset, you know, throughout the entire thing. But yeah, he's an Imperial, like, you know, he's you know, rubbing elbows with Sly Moore and other, like, you know, top tier Imperial people. But to them, they have no idea that at the top of this thing is a Sith Lord and you know, it's evil. They don't know that. So so for me, I just didn't like his personality. Like, I didn't think he was a bad guy. I didn't hate him. He was just like, oh God, you know, we're gonna sit down here. We're more fun. Like, you. But this, we don't know how long he's been harboring. We don't know how long he's been harboring these feelings. Oh man, I don't want to get on this thing where I'm just like defending this dickhead. But
I get it,
he's
though.
Not a big enough dickhead for you to feel bad about defending him, though. Like, he's not that bad. He really isn't.
And if you think about it too, if we think about how men work, he was in this arranged marriage. Clearly, he was the one who's marrying up in that situation. She was going to be the senator. She was going to be from the prominent family of power. He's coming into her world. She is the dominant person in their relationship, in their hierarchy socially. He's there because she was invited to the party, not because he was invited to the party.
Right.
And that can do things for a man. Some men cannot always stomach a powerful woman leading. And also at the same time, on top of it, I think that there obviously was a part of him that has some love, whether it be truly romantic or not, lingering. He certainly got jealous. But there is a partnership, and I think he has respect for her. And I think that just, it's got to be a complicated cocktail of emotions of being the submissive person in the relationship to, you know, he didn't choose that life either. She didn't. Arranged marriage when you're teenagers, it all sucks, and it's all going to be a weird, complicated relationship. That's hilarious. Probably true as well. That's very funny.
I didn't that till now.
I didn't catch that until that either. But, you know, it's just one of those things where I'm like, you are flawed, and I don't love you, but I don't hate you either.
Yeah, and I never hated the guy. I was just like, if this guy was
ick.
If this guy
That's
was
what
married to one of my friends, I would never hang out with them. I would hang out with her.
That's exactly right.
Yeah,
I would not hang out.
Girls' nights only. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, to me, it was, again, I just feel bad because I know I like picked on him at the beginning. But I also did mention last time I was on that, he did redeem himself quite a bit for me, at least at the wedding, because he was clearly doing his best to be supportive and so on and so forth, as was already mentioned in the comments by Woodsy. So, that's a really good point to make, that he didn't, and again, I don't think you have to feel bad if you didn't hate him and if you liked him, because I don't think he was bad enough like to deserve
He's not a true
hate.
villain.
Yeah, like he was not
Right.
like, oh my God, he's in Darth Vader camp. It was just like, man, if I knew that guy, we wouldn't get along, is the thing. Like, that's all it was. But I just felt so bad because this poor guy put all this effort into it and everybody hates his character.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that later on down the line we get a book.
Me too.
About him and Leia and like how they dealt with finding out when the rest of the galaxy found out what Mon Mothma was up to. That would be super. Oh man, that would be super dope.
That's
to see.
so scary. Because also what are the Imperials going to do to them since she fled? When Palpatine took over, they arrested every single non-Palpatine, outwardly super yay, we love this guy senator, and some folks got tortured. Mon got tortured. Talk about that in that book that came out. People got physically harmed and arrested just because Palpatine took over. Not to mention, let's say, what do you know about your mom or your father or your wife defecting? What do you know? They're going to arrest them at some point. They're going to do something to them.
Maybe that's what got him drinking again.
Oh, honestly, though.
You see him, you know what I mean?
But that could also be part of his entire persona. His entire, superficial, I only care about having fun and joy and blah, 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 blah. That could all be a long con to make sure that when this comes down, he can lean on the fact that everyone thinks he's an empty-headed party boy.
He's first act Fiero. He's first act Fiero.
Mean? Because when you're talking about people like Mon Mothma and the career that she's had and what she does, and, you never know how much he's been prepared for that future. It's not like he doesn't know it's coming, as Claire pointed out earlier. So, you know what I mean? It could very possibly be that he's just a really good actor. And, I mean, not Alistair, because he's clearly a really good actor.
Yes, he is.
But, maybe Aaron is also a really good actor, And like I said, when you do see that stuff at the wedding, you do very much see that he does care for her and that he's, he's got other things he's thinking about, but still, he does care. It's just that he's a, ew,
like what he said, when Mon, like what he said, when Mon is crashing out, just dancing all of her anxieties, all that stuff, he just stands back, you okay,
Yeah.
So yeah.
And it didn't look like, are you okay? You're going to embarrass me. It looked like
it was concerned.
Are you okay? Because I'm worried about you. And that does, and like I said, I did mention that at the time, I'm like, am I starting to like this guy? Because damn it, I don't like this guy.
Yeah.
All right, on to somebody. I don't want to spend the whole hour talking. He's still kind of an oily boho. So.
Can I bring up the next grouping? Because I need to talk about this.
Do it.
Can we talk about Clea and Luthen? And the flashbacks?
Oh my God, so much.
Can we unpack this emotional distress I've been holding in my chest since Tuesday?
Are we sure we're qualified to unpack that kind of emotional stress?
No!
That was a lot. That's what
I go to tequila for. You guys are just the other company. That's what the margarita's for. Don't worry. Who needs therapy? Just kidding. Everybody should go to therapy. It's good for you. Okay.
Hi, chat. Hi, everybody. I'm
Hi,
sorry
everybody.
I'm not looking at the chat, so I don't see everybody,
Yeah.
but hi, everybody.
That scene of her as the little stowaway watching Luthen crack
Yeah.
with the atrocities of him destroying her world. When that started happening, when I saw the de-aged, I was like, ah, we're doing it.
I was thinking they were just going to get what was his name in True Blood? Eric. I forgot his son's. I forgot. The other Skarsgård. The
Alexander Skarsgård. Is he the oldest?
Sure. I think
Is it Bill or Alexander?
There's like 83 of them. I can't remember all.
I think that Alex would be better at playing his dad than Bill because he's Pennywise. He's got the scary eyes to me.
Wait, is Bill
a Skarsgård?
Pennywise? Is Bill?
Yes.
Okay, then the one from True Blood.
Yes, Alex.
He should have. He that would have been cool if he would have played him, but it did the DH, saved him a couple bucks.
Beautiful, lightly toasted marshmallow baby. Sorry, I just had to say that. Look at the light toasting on the ears. Sorry. But yes, it's so fascinating to me that we got that backstory because I've been waiting on that one since literally day one. I'm like, who is this broody gal who's the boss of everything?
Yeah.
Who's this broody gal running shit? And why is this man? Just why is this? Why are you like this?
Well, and I also like that we actually got his backstory. It wasn't just, like exposition delivered over a cup of coffee. Like we got to see it. Yeah. Which I think gives a better, picture of exactly what they went through and the struggles and all sorts of other stuff that just gave so much more depth, not only to the characters, but to the relationship between the characters.
Yeah. It just hurts my heart too. And also it makes you understand why Clea is the way she is. She's such a hardened person.
Mm-hmm.
And she does harbor some hatred towards him too.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Combination of hatred and love. It's so complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just and a lot of respect to Luthen as well. Yeah, he's kind of the dad. After murdering her family and all.
Somebody had to.
Somebody had to.
It just hurt my heart.
Yeah.
And then I loved watching that backstory also because Luthen gives her every single opportunity to stop and to turn back. He gives her at every step of the way, he's like, you sure we're doing this? This is we could be eating ice cream on the little patio on Naboo looking over the lake, okay? We could do this. We don't have to and there was no turning back for her from the very beginning. And you're like, wow, that kid had no childhood. I hope that seeing that moment at the end of the arc with Clea on Yavin finally able to break down a little bit and let go a little bit and show some emotion.
She was so lost.
So lost.
She was so lost.
That girl needs some time, okay?
Yeah.
She needs
she does.
time.
And she can't even appreciate what Luthen and her started.
Yeah.
They started this.
Yeah. Oh. And then she's not under the impression, because it's very true, because those senators made it very much well known that they don't like Luthen. They look at him the way they look at Saw. And she's like, why would I want to go there? They hate me. Why would I want to go there?
Yeah.
But Andor's impassionate plea to them, all of you sitting here passing judgment on them, and you haven't done a quarter of the shit that Luthen and Clea have done for this rebellion.
Yeah, you bitches showed up yesterday. Okay,
yeah.
Right. Well, and again, it's all in how the story is told in the end. As to how it looks from the outside. I mean, lots of people thought John Paul Jones was a pirate too. And it's like, yeah, but without him, things might have gone differently. Not the father of the Navy for giggles, but he was very much at the time considered to be I don't know if we really want to associate with this dude because he's, and so I mean, again, it's that reality, and that's happened, bazillions of times in history, and that's what makes the show so relevant, because these are things that literally happen. We've seen them, you and me, in our lives. We've seen this kind of behavior, or we've seen the results of this kind of behavior. We rarely ever to meet the Luthans, of the world and the Cleas of the world. But that's the beauty of Andor. You get to meet those people this way.
Yeah.
And she is amazing. Like, she had so much work to do in that episode for a first timer. So much work to do. And she nailed every second of it.
Absolutely. I wonder
I can't believe it's her first gig.
Yeah, I do wonder if she had been miscast, and please understand me when I say this, because I go by her name, like her character name, Clea.
Clea,
because she looks so much like Clea. She looks exactly like Carrie Fisher. Like, she could be playing Leia. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she could have definitely played Leia.
I could see that.
But
I love though that. Go ahead.
I was going to say, just like Perrin and Leda, she needs a book.
She needs a book.
She needs a book. They need to be a book. And like Brian was saying, like, maybe her and Ahsoka meet up sometime before the events of the Ahsoka show. But that would be amazing.
I think with her, what was so fantastic for me, and why I never connected her with Leia, other than the fact that she clearly does in fact look very much like her. If she was Leia, she's a clone, a dark clone, because she's absolutely nothing like Leia in that kind of way. Like
brooding Leia.
Right, exactly. Because again, Leia is your hero. She's your leader. Okay. Yes. She has so many different things that she's looking at to try to, to organize and get together and convince people. And she's going to have to be diplomatic, and she's also going to have to be harsh, and so on and so forth. Clea doesn't have any of that. Her entire process is, what is the job and how do I get it done? She's not bothered by what people are going to think, how she's going to convince people to do things. So it's like Dark Leia. It's like, Leia. With all of that responsibility and FaceTime removed, how much more can you get away with? Because I saw somebody tweet that it's so terrible that, we don't know the heroes of Andor the way we know Luke Skywalker and getting medals and all this other stuff. And it's just like, you also don't know the SEAL team that, killed Osama bin Laden either.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you're not supposed to, because as I've been saying from the beginning, that's what this story is about. This story is about the people you will never hear about, who did way more than you'll ever understand and had to make decisions you would never ever do. But Clea, I think, again, she's just Dark Leia. She's like, if Leia had no morals and no decency, this is how she would have done it. And I mean, she's doing it for the right reasons, so we accept it. But girl,
it's so insane how much she looks like Carrie Fisher, though. I was like,
she does.
I was like, redo those scenes in Rogue One and just put her in there. Just put her in there.
Just put her in there.
Just do
well,
it.
I'm hoping we've learned from the CGI hell not to do that too much anymore. I think it's better to recast or something like that.
Because I tell you what, because my man Benjamin Bratt came in and he's Bail Organa now. Like look, I've been a fan of his since Blood In, Blood Out, and I was so happy when I saw that he was coming in. I'm like, oh, he's coming in as Bale? Okay. Okay. So I guess someone had with Smiths and he couldn't do it because I'm a big fan of Jimmy Smiths too. But if you couldn't be there, you couldn't have done a better job.
It's so good.
Benjamin Bratt.
So good.
It's such a good Bale.
Yeah.
It's such a good Bale replacement, dude.
Well, I mean, Benjamin Bratt,
also, I love him.
Can do no wrong.
He's so amazing. I love him. I love to look at him. I love to watch him act. I love to hear him talk. And then he bailed the fuck out of it. So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't have any problem with the recasting, but Bill is not like, like a character where I'm going to get really peeved about,
no,
if he has to be recast. But I love Benjamin Bratt, so I was here for it. I love Jimmy Smits, of course, Santos forever. But like
forever.
It's, I think it was a great recast to a part that we didn't want to recast, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
We get it. It has to happen. But I just think it's so much better than trying to do CGI. And I know CGI is getting better, but
you can do it for a scene. You can't do it for a show.
Over the top. It's just better to get somebody and recast it.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough with being that with Rogue One with Grand Moff Tarkin, because to me, I don't give a fuck. I thought that was fantastically done.
I did too.
Pretty well
even
done,
though the guy that they got to play him, I'm like, he looks just like him though. The guy I was like,
that's the same guy who voiced him in Rebels. He had him do the body acting. Oh no, what did he voice him in? He voiced him in something else.
He was Tarkin. Yeah, Tarkin for Rogue One was one actor and who looked just like him as well. But then the voice of Tarkin in Rebels and anything else was Steven.
It was
Stanton.
all Stanton. I thought that he voiced him too, though. The actor who did the body.
All I'm saying is that CGI Grand Moff Tarkin just simply needed some loose powder. I would not have even noticed if he'd have just gotten himself a little loose powder. He was very, very shiny. Not that I'm one to talk, but I'm also not in a movie right now. So,
but and then the Moff was incredible. Yeah.
Cover Girl, save us again.
Cover Girl, you're our only hope.
You're our only hope.
But from now on, just don't even be afraid to recast legacy actors. Do it.
I mean, don't remake.
I get it for one word. But I get it for Leia at the end of Rogue One with one word. Was it perfect? No. But if you think about it as well, that movie, it was good enough for one word, and at the same time as well, for the time as well that it came out. It'd be better if it came out today. And
absolutely,
that movie came out 1 week before Carrie Fisher passed away.
Right.
And seeing it opening night and then going again to see it after she passed, and to have Leia at that end of that with her face does something to me emotionally still, because of that tie of going to see it, that first time going to see it after she passed. It was just so much.
Oh boy. Yeah, the guy they got to play Tarkin in Revenge of the Sith, he looked like a Cenobite from Hellraiser. It was weird. It was weird. They got someone who just why does he look terrible right out the gate? That's years of
yeah.
God. Yeah.
My goodness.
I think we also need to talk about what's his name. Hey Nick. We need to talk about the big bad from the ISB. I'm so sorry. Brain dead.
Partagaz.
Partagaz.
Thank you, Partagaz.
Maester, what's his butt?
Wow.
I think that's his name.
Listening to Nemec,
Maester,
his manifesto as he goes,
to blow his fucking brains out.
Yeah.
So this show was just so good, everywhere.
If Nemec could see it, if Nemec was alive to see that happen, man.
I know. Oh,
I was like, wow,
the joy he would have felt for a split second, and then he would have gone back.
That shit went viral.
Yeah.
That shit went viral. That was all.
Oh, and then, the finger on the head thing, the picture that she had. The moment of shock in her face, and then the abject fucking horror.
Yeah.
So amazing.
At that point, it's I'm fucked.
I'm so fucked.
At that point,
yes.
I'm fucked. This is not this is worse than wagging the finger. This is so much worse. It's demeaning. It's just you're
meaning.
You know, I'd be like, Shab, I'm done, right? I'm done. I'm done.
You are a little worm I'm crushing under my pointer finger.
I swear my face had to look exactly like hers when he did that, because I was just like, oh no. I mean, it was just, but her reaction was so fantastic.
So good.
Yeah.
Because
loved her.
Second, you see that shift in her face.
And she didn't know it was coming.
Shock to the horror of, oh my God. Yeah, I know. I saw the interview where she's like, I didn't know he was going to do it.
You could tell she didn't know he was going to do it.
Exactly. But it plays perfectly for her character, too, because at that point, I really don't think she understands how much trouble she's in. Yeah. In fact, I don't think she understands.
That is the moment. I was gonna say that is the moment she starts to realize she might be in a white and orange jumpsuit here soon, on her bare feet. Dude.
Yeah, cool.
Woodsy's on fire tonight.
Yeah.
Ain't that the truth?
And she tried to, like,
amazing. And I mean, Krennic was like extra obnoxious evil. That was
had to be. He had to be. Like, these guys are messing up his program that he's got to keep super secret. That, like, if he messes up, that's Vader on his ass. That's the Emperor on his ass. It's a wrap for him.
It got added to the chat.
Like, hey, remember when your friend Young was logged into your goddamn account for hours?
And she's like, just, you know, I had to be desperate because I just couldn't get the information, and and it's just like, girl,
like, stop.
Don't pick up the shovel and help him dig the hole. What's wrong with you? Stop digging.
Yeah. He's like, because, I couldn't get the information because you guys killed the guy who was going to give me the thing. I'm like, just.
Nope. Also, remember when you tried to do a little sting operation and take this whole thing down and then you fucked it up?
On your own!
Maybe that's why you shouldn't be fishing!
I just would have, like, started, like, either crying or vomiting. One of the two. Just and that, when he's like, you tried to go and take care of Luther Rail on your own. I'm like, I'm totally fucked, aren't I? Am I totally, just, you know what? Take me to jail.
Well, it turns out that the person taking care of Lieutenant on their own is Leia.
It's true.
Oh my stars.
Oh, she did not calibrate her aspiration is hilarious.
Ooh.
Oop. Oop.
Oh God. That was just, I mean, again, this show, and then Cyril, like, so pissed, and Cassian's like, who the fuck are you?
Love it.
Jesus,
I don't even know who you are.
I don't even know who you are.
Yeah. I wonder, like, when he was starting to put it down, was he not going to, or did that just shock to his system? And then, like, would he have? I guess we'll never know, because Rylands, a great name, shot him in the head.
Well, let's be honest. He needed shooting, but it would have been cool to find out just a little bit more before he died. But can we talk about his, like, heel turn, like choking Dedra out, like, bro?
Oh no, that's a face turn. He went baby face. But
until he didn't. Until he went right back.
I wonder.
I was using the term without the knowledge necessary. I apologize. I haven't watched wrestling since Jesse Ventura was still wrestling, so
he's from Minnesota.
I know.
But
choking out space Nazis face.
Right.
Yeah, at that point, right. Yeah.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, I got where he was coming from, but I was like, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, this is going to end any possibility of, just.
Yeah, Dostoevsky quote, for something that boils down to your worst sin is that you destroyed yourself for nothing.
Dude.
And that's why he was in such
That's Russian literature right there.
Bro. Yep. And he was just like, I can't believe it. Like, he realized that I'm a part of this. I helped make this happen. And I got played for 40 pieces of silver, or whatever it was. Just like man. And
I wasn't on for last week's episode, but I've literally never cried that hard at an episode for anything ever. I don't think was the Gorman massacre. I've never cried.
Well,
I've never felt so physically ill. I felt ill because I was frightened. I was anxious for this fictional planet of people. Yeah. I know I wasn't here for that. I just want to say that the reaction video will show I had to reapply all of my makeup after that. I sat in a dark bathroom. I sat on the toilet seat closed with the lights off, and I just took deep breaths, in between the episodes, because I was like, I'm gonna record another fucking reaction video to this, and I can't even see my face.
We spoke in between those episodes. It's bad when I have no willpower. Okay, so when it comes to Star Wars, if it's new, I need to see it right fucking now. I had to take a break.
Yeah.
Between those two episodes, and by break I mean
I need to breathe.
15 minutes. But I mean, still, I just had to Jesus fuck. Yeah. And Claire and I were texting each other shit. And I just sent you a text and just went fuck.
It was a lot.
I just looked at it as such an interesting thing because I knew it would be like that. That it would be really impactful and really emotional. But I think in the world that we're living in today, most of us, have never experienced that kind of thing happening in front of our eyes.
For sure.
And now we're living in a world where it's this
is happening everywhere.
And it makes it even more impactful, even if you're not thinking about it that way. It is in fact the way it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This is somebody's reality. This is the reality of Ukraine. This is the reality of Palestine. This is happening.
But my point is this could be the reality of anywhere.
This could be the reality of anywhere.
Yeah, and it's again, the fact that this was all written before,
a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Is today.
But to be fair, most
where
of
the
these
fantastical is put on break. Where's all the fantastical at? Let me just put it in the bag.
Give me the fantasy now. I want that part back.
Calm down, fantasy.
The fantasy is still there. You can go to the next one. Go to the movie after Rogue One, and the fantasy all comes back to you.
Shit! I gotta go turn Mortis on. I gotta turn the Mortis gods on. That couldn't happen.
Man, you can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs. Yeah.
Can somebody take me on a mystical Space Force adventure?
They were here, take this, take all that fantastic. Damn it. They put it in the Ziploc bag. They were just put it over there.
Shit, give me. We shit on it when it came out. Give me a Melu Run arc any day. Give me the Melu Run.
If Andor would have had just
give me cookie droids. One Ewok.
Just one Ewok walk by. Just walk by. That's it.
Just in the background and Yavin just babbity-bap.
It literally say just that babbity-bap. Say that and he's got a Kawaki monkey lizard on his shoulder.
Yes, that's all we needed. That's what it needed, man.
I literally after the episodes I had to put on, and I mean this, I had to put on Bugs Bunny.
I've done that shit, man.
Just I had to put on some Looney Tunes.
Man. Sometimes you need eye bleach, man. Emotional bleach.
Emotional bleach.
Yeah. Let's just cleanse all of this out.
And shout out just in general to Tony Gilroy for making a show full of incredibly powerful women and never once pointing out that any of them were women. Now, by giving them positions and roles that men could have easily played, that anybody could have played.
For sure.
But it was just there, this is how it is. It didn't have to be excused. It didn't have to be explained. There didn't have to be some super secret plan about why it had to be women doing these things. The simple fact is that in this particular case, it was.
Yep.
And that's it. And the matter-of-factness of that, the matter-of-factness of Val and Cinta's relationship, no pointing out, no, look what we're doing. Look who we're including. No,
that's
is
just what it is.
A relationship, and it was a beautiful
relationship.
It's
just what it is. It's another relationship in this story that we're telling you about. And we're not going to draw attention to it because there isn't any need to draw attention to it because this is normal. And they treated it as normal. And it was lovely because, normal's a crappy word, we all know. But you know what I mean? Like,
it's true.
nobody was going to look sideways at Andor and Bix's relationship, Yeah. And this was played with exactly as much, oh, look. No. Yeah. It's just like, here's the characters and here's where their story is.
Yeah. It's also, I love Cooper's comment too, because it's just like, women can be villains too, and they can suck not because they're women, but because they're a good fucking villain.
Right, like
and complex as shit, man.
Like, I'm waiting for a great black villain. Darth Vader used to count for me as far as a black villain, but it's Anakin, so But I wanted to ask you guys this. When I was on Bombat Cast the other night, Emma had a point to make about finding out that Bix was pregnant and had a child, and like that's why she left instead of it being for another another reason, like for the doing it for the rebellion, and like she's saying like it was still, and I'm paraphrasing, but something to the effect of it was still a woman having to take the back seat and care for, like I said, I'm paraphrasing, someone else. And like, that's, the effect of her leaving. I just want to know, like, did you guys have any feelings like that? Or do you see where she's coming from? Because, I mean, we all did. And we were when she was explaining it. But I just want to know how you guys feel about that.
I think that it could be seen that way. I definitely could see it. I don't personally see it that way for me. Because if I'm trying to count timelines of when things are happening, if she knew she was pregnant, I don't know. I gotta carbon date that baby. Figure out what the timing on this shit is. Mm-hmm. Women typically don't realize that they're pregnant until like 6 to 8 weeks into the pregnancy. They typically don't realize what's going on. That's standard. That baby looks to be, I don't know, baby's holding his head up. I don't know what to think about the timing of it all, I don't know what to think about that. It's a very interesting point. I would like, in my own personal headcanon and how I'm choosing to view it, to feel that it wasn't the decision maker, that it was for the rebellion and for Cassian, because she felt that he needed to be there.
And she found out afterwards.
It's my headcanon, and I'm going to stick to it. But the timing is funky, so I absolutely see why Emma would feel that way. The timing is funky. I gotta take a look at that baby.
I think for me it was a little of that, a little both. Mm-hmm. When I watched the show and those events occurred, it never occurred to me, at least personally, that the baby had anything to do with her decision.
Yeah.
My thought process was what she was telling Cassian was true.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that whether she knew or not, like I didn't even question whether or not she knew that she was pregnant.
Yeah.
The character of Bix and the way that she's been portrayed, the way that she's handled herself and everything else that has gone on through this whole situation, to me, she doesn't make a decision like this based on that as much as she makes it based on what she said she made it on.
Yeah. Regardless, she would have made that decision.
The casting was
exactly.
needed.
She would have made that decision whether she knew or not, whether that was the case or not.
That's what the narrative was telling us too. Yeah.
That was the narrative to me, at least, that's the way I read it, was that they were trying to make the point of that she understood that her sacrifice was going to be him.
Yes.
And it was going to be her time with him and their life the way that they wanted to live it. And of course, she's trying to look at it positively and say, when you come back, we will do all of the things and all of the yada, yada, yada. But she is, again, has been shown to be an intelligent, experienced person, she knows that there's a very high likelihood he isn't going to come back. But the point that she was trying to make is not so much when you come back, we're going to do all this stuff. It's this can't happen without you.
Yeah.
And so my sacrifice in this battle, in this war, is going to be to give you up, possibly temporary, much more likely give you up for good. And I just don't, it just never, for me at least, the decision was not made because of any baby or any other such thing. It was made because she truly believed, the Force healer and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
She truly believes he's the guy.
He has to
and he needs to do these things. And she, if she loves him, is going to let him become what he is going to become. And, baby notwithstanding, really. I mean, to my mind, I mean, again, it's one person's opinion, but that was my reading of it.
But I absolutely see that point, and I understand why people would be angry with that development for that reason. I think that baby, no baby, I think that's the same decision. I think I would have been the same outcome for Bix based on all of the story that we've heard from her is that we've, there's no life there's no life outside of this if we don't win.
Right. If they don't win, then, even if she knows about the baby, if they don't win, what is that baby going to live in? What is that child going to experience?
There's nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have I mean, at least for me, and I don't know about you, Chris, but I've been hearing people say for decades, I don't want to bring a child into this world because of fill in the blank here.
XYZ. Yeah.
And it's very different when you literally are, going to bed at night with somebody who's on the front lines. So I mean, it's brought home as more real to you. But to me, and I mean, I think I've made myself pretty known as somebody who accepts all opinions.
For sure.
If Emma, what Emma thinks is completely realistic, makes total sense. It's just not the way it hits for everybody. You know what I mean? It's like shipping. It might not hit for you, but it does for somebody else. They see all sorts of signs you don't see. And it's, neither of you is right or wrong. It's just the way the story is told and the way it hits for you. But for me, her sacrifice was being, that was part of what made it Bix and made it so powerful, was that she decided that she was going to sacrifice. She was going to give up the most important thing ever to her.
Yeah.
Because
it was the right thing to do, because she can't do what he does, so this is her sign,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I babbled.
No, shit. No, that's one of the, I wanted
good discussion point.
Yeah, I want to talk about that because that's something that I felt like when she was explaining it, I felt like shit, man, I didn't notice that. And I wanted to get your guys' opinion on that. I wanted to bring this up tonight to see. One other thing, and this is typical of this fandom.
Oh boy.
Look, I love Andor. I love all Star Wars. There is no, and I mean, hot take it or whatever, there is no end all be all as far as Star Wars goes.
Oh, yeah.
Andor is not the end all be all of Star Wars. Rogue One is not the end all be all. The original trilogy is not the end all be all.
It's not.
It's too large of a universe. There's too many stories to be told. Too many entry points for people for there to be an end all be all.
Yeah.
You put yourself into a corner when you do that.
Yep.
So I think if people, because there are a lot of fans who just I saw this meme of them, this person, it's like a Simpsons character with the Andor logo next to him, looking at a kid who's got Book of Boba Fett, Acolyte, Obi-Wan, and a couple others, and why can't you be like him or something like that? And that is, there's so many different ways to tell stories, and you can't just box it into one style. If you want that, cool. Just know that there's going to be others. If you want that Andor style, if they stopped everything they were doing, they made everything Andor style, this universe would get boring and it'd be dour.
And it would die out because
Yeah.
we're not bringing in the next generation of younglings. Like,
I would rather see different people's variations, different people's visions, different people's ways of telling a story, and what part of the story is so important to them or more important to them, or what kind of character, and so on and so forth. Yeah, I agree. You know, there is no be all end all Star Wars. Nothing is better than everything else. The only thing, blah, blah, blah. None of that matters. The whole point is it's art. You're supposed to look at it, and if you like it, great. If you don't, move on. It's
Next
really
thing.
not that difficult. I mean, let's be grown-ups about our Space Wizards movie. But having said that, you know, I can understand, you know, the hyperbole of that, because this is a very different Star Wars than we've generally seen, you know, in many, many ways. But we don't want Tony Gilroy to make every Star Wars, because then this wouldn't be the amazing thing that it is. We can't have Gareth Edwards every time, because then we won't get Rogue One the way it was. And when we all went to see that movie, we're like, well, I don't really know why they needed to make this movie, but I'm totally going to go see it because it's Star Wars. And we all went in and we're like, holy crap, this movie is way, way better than we were thinking. And you need to be open to different types of storytellers and different types of stories. And it's okay if something isn't your thing. But you know, we're a tribalistic species. You know, we're the same thing. We're the same way about football teams. You know, Claire and I cheer for massive, massive rivals. We're capable of putting that aside when it's not Sunday at noon. But the reality is that there are people in our respective tribes that act like it's, you know, a stoning offense to be on the other side. And
it is very true.
Whoa, you guys. It's not, you know, and I think that the fandom is getting too hardcore. They're not realizing that you can be on the Last Jedi, you know, fan club without people who love Revenge of the Sith like wanting to beat you in the streets. Neither of you is better than the other because you like different things.
And it's so silly. It's like, I'm not in the mood to watch a drama, a political drama every day.
Right.
Sometimes I want to watch a comedy. Sometimes I want to watch a nostalgic romp from my childhood. Sometimes I want to, you know, there's so many different genres of things that we can do this Star Wars thing in.
Yeah. Remember, people, genres are like training wheels. They help you to stay balanced. You don't have to keep them forever. You can take them off your little bike and go wherever you want to go.
Stop painting yourself into a corner.
You know, stand for music, movies, anything.
Yeah.
You don't
There's
have
so
to
many.
only like this. Expand your horizons.
And that's the other thing. Guess what? Oh, you like this thing the most. I like this thing the most. Great. We still like Star Wars. Look at that. We agree on that.
This is my favorite thing. It's okay. We'll be all right.
Like,
we're all in the same galaxy, man.
They got to stop doing things like someone did an experiment and they just said something about Acolyte. Just say, you know, I like the Acolyte and I want them to be another season. Motherfuckers just like pounced on this. It's like they have like the hashtag like in notifications, like anytime someone says something, act like, oh, it's going to know it fucking sucked. And it's you know terrible writing or whatever their bullshit excuses are. But
that's what I got for a TikTok I made about people waiting for the full narrative of Last of Us. Oh my goodness, the vitriol in my comments. They're like, this fucking ride is terrible. Everything's awful. I'm like, I'm literally just saying it's not only about revenge. There's more things that you gotta wait for.
Yeah.
And also, if you don't like something that someone else does like, that's okay too. You don't. It's fine. You don't. You know, it's okay. They can like that thing that you don't like, and it's totally
it's fine.
But
if you like that Ewoks cartoon from back in the 80s, fine. I roll my eyes at it.
Right.
I still have every episode, but I mean, you know,
I like it after a couple cocktails.
I mean,
it's fun after a couple cocktails.
But like for the
this is wild, man.
I own Steven Seagal movies. I don't judge anybody for what they like.
Did you buy those? Did you, like with money? Wow.
With money.
Shit, yeah, because I love me a good, solid exposition of how much Steven Seagal will kill your ass in a movie, because it's hilarious. It is the most
Gonna do it.
obnoxious things blowing up, people getting beat up, stupid crap you've ever seen in your life, and it is delicious, and I love every second of it. So
I think it was Samir who made the thing earlier. Sometimes I'm in the mood for fine dining, and sometimes I'm in the mood for Taco Bell drive-through. Like,
exactly,
there's room for both. We can enjoy all of it.
Yes. There. I draw a line. Had debate for. I draw a line.
Nope.
Okay. I'm just kidding.
And the thing of it is that we need to be able to have discussions about things that we disliked or wanted, think should be changed or should have been different. We can have those discussions without ripping other people down for liking the thing that we don't like.
Right.
Or for dragging another project down because you like another one better.
That's so ridiculous.
Exactly.
They can
I
coexist.
just think all of that is so unhelpful. And I will say, though, that social media, there's been some really bright points this past week and some really low points. But one of my favorite bright points is so many people like talking about how they can't wait to cosplay characters from Andor. And I'm like, bring that love this way, because I love that. Because isn't that what I'm always talking about? Like, there's going to be a character that's in the background of a shot that nobody ever thinks about, but there's one person out there who loves that character. And I've already seen some people like they're stitching, they're getting their shit ready, and they are the gore and they are ready for it. And I'm like, that's so amazing. And why are people trying to ruin it for other people?
I know
it. Oh my gosh.
There was a little boy at Star Wars Celebration Orlando 2017. He must have been 6 years old, dressed up as Cassian from Rogue One, who came up, and I was cosplaying that day as like Darth Rey before Darth Rey existed. This is pre The Last Jedi, baby. We got the first Last Jedi trailer that weekend, and I'm dressed up as Darth Rey. But this little 6-year-old boy dressed up as Cassian playing with my double-bladed lightsaber, and I'm just like, this is magic, man. That's what it's about, man.
It is.
Can you imagine?
That kid identified with Cassian, and you identify with Darth Rey. Sorry, Chris,
I do.
No, listen. Can you imagine Cassian holding a lightsaber? It's weird.
It's like, weird. I saw it. A very mini one. But yes, I saw it.
To me, that's like imagining the Green Lantern in the Dark Knight movies. It's weird.
Very strange. Very strange.
Sorry, Chris. I was being naughty. I apologize. But considering what you were bringing up a couple weeks ago and trying to drag all of us down into your little cesspool, I think I'm allowed.
For what? What are you talking about?
You know exactly what she's talking about.
Exactly.
No, I don't. I am old and I forget shit. What?
Now that is not true.
Your dirty mind.
I'm old, and that's not happening. So no.
Oh, we're talking about what like, what's it like? Well, it doesn't matter anymore. They're both.
Doesn't matter. One's in prison, one's dead, so not gonna happen.
Narkina 5, just thinking about Cyril.
Well, she better do a good job of whatever she's doing, so her slop can have some taste.
True.
Oh God, she just
flavor the slop.
Sitting there in that cell, and then the lights going down, and you're just like,
she just breaks.
It's like, oh girl, you deserve every second of this, every second of it. You deserve it all. Enjoy yourself.
Every minute of the rest of your life, you should sit there and suffer for what you brought upon the Gorman people, my dudes.
What I would suggest for the people who want strictly the prestige television style like Andor, start adapting some of these books, like Bloodlines.
Yes!
True Bloodlines. You want an Andor style
Bloodlines
story?
would be so fucking good. It would be so good.
Cameras are so much better. Editing software is so much better. Go out there and make you a fan movie. Do something.
Do it.
Be the storyteller this time. It's your turn. But in the meantime, like, lay off the other people because it's their turn to talk. They've got the speaking stick. So, if you don't like it, it's okay. Move on. But the people who do like it, leave them be. Because that's lame. It's lame to attack people for what they like.
Yeah.
Like, this world is a bummer. Can we all just, like, latch on to the things that we enjoy and then be like, look, you are happy with that thing. Good on you. Go be happy. Unless that thing is hurting other people, which, you know, that sucks and fuck you. But, like, if it's not, then we support your decisions. You like something I don't. No. Keep his name out of our mouths. Keep that.
Keep all.
Oh, no. No.
You know what, Eric? Thank you for bringing that up.
Here we go.
As an avid comic reader, by the way, Claire, Kylo Ren's this week.
Yes.
As a comic reader,
it's so good.
I was
guys.
hoping.
You gotta read it.
There's a comic called Cassian and K2SO, which shows how Cassian got K2SO. And it's a comic that came out a few years ago, and it's completely different than what happened in the show. So once again, just like with the Bad Batch, they retconned some stuff again. I was hoping that it would have just happened, like the whole him meeting K2SO and all that stuff would have happened in the year between, 2 and 1, but they decided to show. But it was done so well in the show, and it was done well. I got the comic on my wall here, and it was done so well in the comic too that I'm cool with it. But I don't like it when, not that I don't like that the comic stuff is so low tier to people that it they're just like, yeah, just go ahead, erase what happened. Knowing that there are great stories in these comic books. There are great stories in these books that are very much Star Wars and sometimes better than the shows and in the movies that are out there. Yeah, I said it.
Yeah.
But
there are though.
That's your special secret. You've got the decoder ring. You and all the people who read the comic books, you've got your own special version of the story and a whole different, whole different thought process around it. I mean, I get what you're saying totally, but at the same time, like, bitch, you're in a secret club with a secret handshake that I don't know.
All right, do you think it could be like, this is what actually happened?
Yes.
This is the story we're gonna tell you.
Yes. That's what I was getting to.
I don't want to be like, I was in the middle of a massacre and then I got dumped when you got fired up. Like, that's not what I want to tell you.
Right. Like, I was like, I don't. I'm sorry, Claire. I hate headcanon because to me that sounds like denial. But
I'm holding on to my denial firmly.
You get to have headcanon.
But
I'll call it whatever I want.
If this explained as like that's the cover story, since they had to cover up, since with Cassian and that general, I think they had to cover up a few things like how they got Mon
Draven,
Mothma, out of there. Yeah, Draven.
Yeah.
How they got Mon Mothma out of there and all that stuff. Like maybe that could be part of it. Is how they. It's all a cover up. So if this is the cover story, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Just make it official that it's the cover story.
Just say it. I'll be in denial until then.
I need
what
you to
I was
stop.
saying about
I need you to stop.
Denial.
I need you to stop.
Denial. It's not just a river in Egypt.
It's not a thing. It is not a thing. Damn it, Eric.
Oh, yeah.
Now you got them all riled up, Eric. Gee.
You got them all hot and bothered.
Look at me. I'm going crazy right now.
Losing his marbles. Ooga booga? Did you say ooga booga us,
yes,
dude?
I did. Look, we're going crazy.
Was not expecting an ooga booga on the pod, but here we are.
Hey. Sometimes you gotta do it first.
That's right.
I just think this show is so great, and I think that headcanon is perfectly fine. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's anything wrong with having a different version in your mind, feeling different ways about the same thing. You see it this way, I see it this way. I think those are all good and valuable and perfectly legitimate things. And I think if we could do that with TV shows, maybe we could do it in real life too. Just a thought.
Just a thought.
Auntie is in the house. Apologies.
Ew.
Ew. I've still not seen it. I knew I'd get that reaction out of you. I was gonna watch it after BX Gaming, and then I forgot about it. Was it good?
Do you understand the world we're living in right now?
Uh-oh.
Let me tell you what this world needs, Claire.
A Superman?
This
Trailer.
world we need is Superman.
A Superman.
We need the Superman in our world right now.
Yes.
That's my casting. Sorry.
I like it.
Or just my Ricardo Montalban ticket pick.
I think we need a Thanos, but that's just me. Listen, Luke Skywalker is my favorite character, but the fact of the matter is I'm a lot more like Anakin than anybody would be comfortable with.
I like this remote control, Chuck.
Sometimes canons and stories that you enjoy to speak to your most... Do you most ignore the ones that...
As long as you don't shit on anybody else.
I mean, I'm saying...
Yeah. Like, that's the biggest thing.
Watch the ones you... rewatch the shit you want. Don't rewatch the shit you don't want to rewatch.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
Enjoy your shit. It makes you happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
That blasted Scarif, whoever said that they were correct, it was real far away, and Cassie wasn't even on that beach. It was real far away.
That was Brian Fry.
Brian, I'm running with it.
Yeah, that's it. There we go. Is this the one? Yeah. Thanks for the blasting Scarif was way off in the distance, and the glare faded, and Cassie and Jin went their separate ways, and Cassie went back to fix. Hey,
that's it.
Hey, you know what
I'm running.
If I gotta go with this headcanon nonsense, I will use that.
I'll take that one.
I'll take that one.
Good Lord.
Yeah,
I just think it was all so good. There was nothing that seemed really superfluous. Everything worked. Mm-hmm. Everything worked.
Oh.
You know what?
This is so hard.
Code's gotta go. Okay, so let's it's too many favorite moments.
Because there's some moments that are so that are so well done.
Yeah.
And I will not ever have them leave the back of my eyelids. That they were so well done. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I call it my favorite because they hurt me real bad. But they were brilliant television, and I hated it. I got a lot of those. It's hard to call it my favorite. It's hard to call it.
My favorite thing happened off camera. Please understand where I'm coming from here when
you are the worst.
What am I gonna say? You didn't hear me say anything yet.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I this happened between BBY 2 and BBY 1, that we didn't see, and that is that the Gorman planet got ransacked, and I hope that the rest of the inhabitants of that planet, the rest of that planet, I hope that all the people, they at least got safely relocated. I hope it wasn't like another massacre. But a planet full of goddamn spiders? Nope. That whole planet. I'm like, get it for whatever it's worth, and destroy
exterminate the spiders.
Spider there.
Get the working man in here.
I'm just saying. No. I mean, yeah, but I think the moment that stands out to most of me, it's not even a full scene or anything like that, but it's Krennic.
It's that.
That was so I was like, oh, because that's just doing that, just
yeah, it's good.
The belittling that is, you have to know, I am PHUCKED fucked.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I have mine.
Oh come on, Brian. Come on.
It's yeah.
I mean, things were answered, but still.
That's where I thought you were going. Glad you didn't. Appreciate you.
Oh, that's where you thought it was going.
That's where I thought you were going.
Not my crippling and debilitating arachnophobia.
No, my favorite moment, because it will stay in my heart. Also, as a musical theater kid, it spoke to me deep in my bones. And I made a joke about it the week before episodes 7 through 9. I made a joke on the Imperial Senate podcast about Les Miserables and Gorman because they were French. I take it all back. I feel really bad about that, especially considering my favorite moment of the season is one man in the middle of the plaza beginning to sing their national anthem. Mm-hmm. And the moment of him singing and it spreading through the crowd is something that will stay with me for a long time. It made me instantly double-eyed tear cry.
Now,
instantly.
Was that a pride thing, or was that a this is getting really nice, something terrible is about to happen? Like was it
that was the moment where I knew they were all gonna die. That was truly, that was the moment where I knew this revolution is doomed to fail. Yeah. This movement is doomed to fail. That was the moment where I was like, I was hoping it wasn't going to be the case. I know that they're probably, that moment, the goosebumps on my arms, even talking about it again, of that just one man starting to sing and the people coming in. It's very Do You Hear the People Sing from Les Mis, which is the song that I sang to joke about the fucking Gormans on Imperial Senate. I was right. It was right. I hate it. It was beautiful. They did it better. No, they didn't. Les Mis is a masterpiece, but they did it parallelly, and the way that they executed that was so, and had the background through every scene throughout until the shot is fired, to have you hear subtly in the background, especially when we go inside, the singing still going on in the plaza. I'm like, God fucking damn it, these fucking. Anyway, that was it. That was me. That's for me. I can't.
How about you, Raven?
Well, I'm going to roll in with probably the most subtle, small, and unimportant thing. When Cassian rescues Mon from the Senate after the fact, I mean, there's a lot that goes on there.
That's the most intense moment.
Yeah, but there's this moment when the camera is behind them and down on the floor. And as they're walking, she just sheds her blue cloak and it hits the floor and she keeps walking. And it's this moment where you can feel it's like
old life.
A knight with a cloak around, like a knight, like a shining armor knight, and just peeling off that cloak and going, here I am. I'm suddenly a totally different person. I have now transitioned from being. Yeah, I've transitioned from being outside of the room where it happens, where it's really, really happening, where people are getting dirty. I'm not in the boardroom anymore. I'm on the factory floor, y'all.
Yeah.
And
front lines.
It was just such a beautiful way to show her, like, in that, and of course everything that happens there, is saying the same thing. It's the same message. But that shot for me was just really, really magical because you just felt her shedding that skin. I am no longer the character that you have seen in all these episodes leading up to this. I am now something completely different. It was a metamorphosis, even though she is still the same character. And she's doing the same things. It's just she's going to be doing it very differently now. She's getting in the dirt with everybody else. She's, she doesn't get to, I mean, she's never above it, but she's above it. She's not worried somebody's coming into her house to shoot her. That's not going to happen. Not when she's Mon Mothma senator. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to me, that shot was just amazing because it was without fanfare. Just her walking, and suddenly that thing just slides off the back of her, and she keeps walking.
Yeah,
very, and especially when you're talking about a character who, through the entire series, has been so fashion forward, fashion conscious. It's been so, so well thought out that her clothing is just stunning. You know what I mean? And it's
and wealthy and privileged and in the heart of the
it's
glitterati, if you will, you know.
it's growing up watching
the
Cher's
prestige.
variety show where she comes out with a Bob Mackie number every single day, and then in 1980 whatever you see her on Moonstruck and she's wearing jeans and a t-shirt and you're like, that bitch looks good in everything. But it looks like a completely different individual.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
It does.
It's like she's not that same girl in those Bob Mackie sparkly beautiful things.
Yeah.
She's somebody completely different, and yet she's still that girl. Like, you know what I mean? And this and that, like I said, that for me was just that beautiful metamorphosis of her dropping some of that extra shine and buff that she does to just be who she is, and knowing that she's going to be able to put more of herself and more of her energies toward that thing that she's actually trying to accomplish. You know, there's, you know, that was still had a little bit, my moment.
And she still had a little bit of, you know, getting used to that shit, because she was not handling people just getting killed in front of her, like, you know, just like everybody.
But it's
the stills, the reaction stills of her being like.
It's on that same line though, because she knows that's what's going on.
Yeah,
you know,
you're in it now, baby.
She knows what's going on, but she doesn't. As Luthen said to her, you know how fortunate for you that you have no idea what I'm talking about. What did he say?
Yeah, I think it was like how nice for you, or how
how nice for you, or whatever he said. But it was that same principle. It's like he's not degrading what she's doing. He's just acknowledging the fact that you know you are in you're front of house, back of house. We sweat, okay. It's not always pretty back here, you know. And I think that was her first real like, oh shit, I'm in it now.
I'm in back of house now.
Because I've gone through the swinging doors.
I watched that season 4, I think, episode again. I think it was season 4 or season 3 of Rebels, where like it goes like from, you know, Cassie taking her away to her getting picked up by Gold Squadron. So I watched that episode. I keep forgetting what the name of it is, but I watched that episode again, and I'm like, and it's been like a day or two between the her leaving the Senate. Season 3. Thank you, Woodsy. For her leaving the planet Coruscant to hooking up with Gold Squadron. It's been a couple of days. You can tell she's a little more accustomed to it now, because in that episode, she's very much getting her hands dirty and understand, you know, that there's a different feel, a different vibe, you know, to this rebellion. It's not just what she's been doing, but what she's been doing in the Senate. Raven, to what you were saying about like when she just dropped her coat, her robe, and how unceremonious it was, that you know, unceremonious, but a very powerful moment. If you look back at this entire series, especially this second season, every death has been that way. Every death of a major character has been that way. There's been no blaze of glory for any character in this thing. It's been done.
Just that's what happens.
Somebody's mistake. You know what Clea did for Luthen, where he still won. He got to die peacefully, even though like he you know,
he did stab himself. Which
that
great.
Does seem like a harsh way to do.
That shows his commitment.
I mean, but I'm sure his commitment.
But he didn't get the job done
by something that didn't hurt so bad. Like you could have had a while,
rough, dude.
You know what?
You need your little cyanide tooth in the back there.
I mean, I'm just saying that if I'm in his position and I'm in that exact moment when you realize the jig is up, you know, you're caught, you're not going to get away. I want to be absolutely sure whatever I do works.
Yes, that's the other thing.
I want to know that there's not ever going to be any hesitation on my part, because it's going to be uncomfortable. So I'm just saying, a vial wouldn't have killed you.
Yeah.
So, you know, some people carry around blood in one. You could just have a little some. Uh-oh.
Why you gotta hurt me, Woodsy?
Oh, that's harsh. True, but harsh.
Okay.
But that was always the truth. Now that we've seen the backstory, that was always what it was going to be.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah. He wanted that for her from the beginning. He
did.
begged her
He
pretty
did.
much to take that opportunity and leave, man. But
Yeah.
he ended up giving it to her in the end.
And like, you know, the fact that they were fighting over, like, you know, no, I can go back and take care of the you know, the radio equipment. Like, you don't have to do it. He's like, no, you go do this. I'm going to take care of that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Well, and of course they, you know, they knew the nets were closing in. It's, you know, and you know, poor little Young, was that his name?
Young.
The little
Yeah.
underling, Young. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sucked for him, but you know,
Woodsy, I didn't catch this.
that's the price. You know what I mean?
And also, like, because Young was all about, like, you know, like, they are on me. They know I've done this. Like, you need to get me out of here.
Yeah.
And like, and I was like, at that point, I'm like, yeah, he's dead.
Yeah.
He's dead.
He's a liability.
Especially, I got to come up with one for Young. But it was like when Luthen said Yavin to him, I was like, why did you say that? I'm like, he's dead.
He died.
Like, there's no way. And you know, it was all about,
you can't know that.
But it's all about getting his. He's like, he wanted his family safe. His family's safe now.
Yep.
Bro is dead. Like, you know, his family's safe. They don't have to worry. They've got some. They got some pain coming to them, some mourning, but.
And they maybe have the ISB for a few questions.
Yeah, I would imagine that there's still going to be quite a few questions asked, considering that they know this guy was in her files and all that other stuff. However, you know, I mean,
they're getting a visit from Dr. Ball.
The reality with
they're getting a visit from Dr. Ball for sure.
Yeah,
that thing from A New Hope.
Yeah, definitely.
The reality is we know humans can keep secrets even from the closest people to them. And people who investigate things like that, like the ISB, you know, it's not going to take them long to know whether or not his wife had any clue. And it certainly sounds as though she didn't. And, you know, but still, like, there's the risk that, you know, I mean, these people just wiped out everybody for, you know, a mineral on a planet. And pretty soon they're going to try to, like, well, they're going to successfully blow up entire planets with millions of people on them. So, you know, they might not be completely safe, but I'm going to assume that they're going to be very safe.
Yeah.
Now that he's gone.
Yeah.
Sadly, not that I wanted him to die, but he was going to die because, liability.
So Young needs to be honored, just like Cassian and you know, and Saw and Galen and Rook. You know, Bodhi Rook and Baze and Chirrut and Jin,
every day,
all
of
them,
the
K2SO. Yep. They all made it happen so that Leia could get the plans, or you know, R2 could get the plans, and then the plans could get into Luke Skywalker and set everything in motion.
So they all not without Lonnie.
Yeah.
And movies have led us to believe that people are willing to make that sacrifice all of the time. You know, make no mistake, people who do this kind of thing, who sacrifice literally everything for their ideals, are quite rare.
Yeah.
Those kind of people don't come around every 2 minutes, as much as we'd like to think so, because we have movies full of them all the time.
Yeah.
But that doesn't come around very often. People who are really, truly willing to risk absolutely everything does not come around often, especially when the risk that they're taking, even if they succeed and the very best possible scenario happens, they aren't going to be like king shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like they're not doing something that's going to benefit them specifically or in any like obvious way. What they're doing is, you know, it's beyond that. It's for something, you know, harder to see than that, you know?
Yeah.
This show is good, man.
Yeah.
How lucky we are to
have
some good television.
That's some damn good television. And I love that. I love that stuff like this exists because I hope it, you know, encourages people to think outside the box when making Star Wars, because this was not like any Star Wars we've seen, really. And it's great. It doesn't mean that the other stuff isn't great too. It's just this is also great.
It's just different. Yeah. Like I'm still waiting for a full-blown sitcom in the Star Wars universe. I mean that wholeheartedly. I don't care what era it's in. I need a straight up comedy.
That's because Adam Driver teased us with Matt the
radar tech.
Matt the radar tech. Like half of a sitcom fucking there. Now we just need him to go home to where his parents live and his older brother who still teases him.
Fitzpatrick, thank you so much for the super chat, homie. And yes, Andor proves that Star Wars still has range as a series. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's so many, like we were saying earlier, there's so many ways that this it's a huge galaxy with limitless ways to tell stories and so many different genres.
Yeah.
Like I said, a full-blown comedy. Give me that. There's a horror story that's waiting to happen in some capacity. And they did it. Nope. What is wrong?
No. We're not doing that.
Why are you shooting down my dreams?
Not all ideas are good, Raven.
That is a stupid dream. That is a stupid dream. No, but they've like in the Clone Wars animated series, they've done
all kinds of different
Yeah, I mean we had a taste of it live action with the Ahsoka series with the Night Sisters.
Yeah,
so many ways.
And and there's so many planets.
That wasn't unintentional.
People and aliens and so on.
There's the room.
So much they could do that we just need to be. The Christmas special was.
The horror story, by the way, was the scene in Rogue One in the hallway with Vader.
Yes,
that's the horror story.
Are you talking shit about the Acolyte right now, man?
No.
All right. No, I'm talking about.
No, I was saying.
No, not you.
I was agreeing with Claire's. The hallway was
Vader.
Vader.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's straight up horror.
And you know what? And
like what?
And that guy in that scene, another one of the unsung heroes. Because without him and his bravery
and his shish kebab.
So there's the sitcom. It can be a limited run sitcom of like 5 or 6 episodes, and it can just be those people on that ship.
And ends with them getting murdered.
And ends with them getting slaughtered in the hallway. No? Okay. All my dreams are stupid.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah,
all my dreams are stupid.
Yeah, bro came down like Dracula. Yeah. But yeah. Some didn't love Taika's Thor. I did not. But I enjoyed them, and I'm hoping.
I liked it.
I will not be taking.
I kind of hope he doesn't, but
I liked it.
It's going to be weird, but
he's a weird dude.
You know what though?
I'll take it.
I was worried about Taika doing Star Wars initially, like way back. But once he did his stuff on The Mandalorian, I was like, no, we're fine.
Yeah.
Also, I was nervous when Bill Burr turned around in that episode of The Mandalorian, and look what he did. Look what he did.
He was a standout.
Look what he did in that second episode when he came in and was so goddamn good. I was like, why is anybody else even here?
Why is anybody else not casting Bill Burr and shit like this?
That's something that brings up to something that I forgot to bring up earlier, and I wish Roke was here because he will know what I'm talking about when I say this. So, Tony Gilroy, who has said ad nauseum that he's not a Star Wars guy. This isn't like his thing, and he doesn't have the same reverence for it that other creators did, but was still able to make an amazing Star Wars story, of course, with the help of a writer's room. But but was still able to make an amazing Star Wars. The same thing happened. There's a famous comic writer, legend named Warren Ellis. And he did something for a project for a franchise that is very well loved and has its own, lore and backstory and all that kind of stuff called G.I. Joe. And he did a G.I. Joe animated movie called G.I. Joe Resolute. And he's like, said, I know nothing about G.I. Joe, you know, except for like whatever characters they tell me they want in this thing, blah, 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 blah. And he made, hands down, the best G.I. Joe story like that I've ever seen. And this
sometimes you need that.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest. Like, I think there was more to the Gilroy quote. Was it? I don't know. Was it a Gilroy quote or was it from somebody else? It might be from him. Of being like, you don't want your surgeon going in being really, 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 really concerned about your well-being as you, human being. Don't want to have that deep personal connection. You don't want your surgeon to be like, oh, but Claire went to my friend's birthday party. Like, no, you want them to be skilled, unattached, come in and execute flawlessly.
Do the job.
Like, sometimes your emotions get in the way of coming in and flawlessly executing this shit. And having that detachment is definitely helpful. Because
all that stuff you saw at the beginning of Doctor Strange that made you not want Doctor Strange as your doctor is exactly why Doctor Strange is a great doctor. Because
yep.
You know.
Yeah, damn right.
I don't want to hear anything about G.I. Joe because they keep screwing with my favorite character and I'm done with it.
What? You talking about those live action movies? They don't exist.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
I've never heard of her.
I'm kidding. They do exist.
No, I feel better because those suck
horrible.
too.
Yeah, those
keep ruining all my favorite characters and ruining everything and just.
Trust me, G.I. Joe Resolute is art. If you love Andor, you'd love this. Trust me.
I just would love to see more people get their shot to tell their story because I think it only makes the universe better to get different points of view and different ideas. And also because we, as much as we know about Star Wars, as much as we love Star Wars and we talk about Star Wars, none of us, have any clue what's going to work and what isn't. If I would have told you that, in the case of The Mandalorian, that Bryce Dallas Howard was going to blow your socks off like a few times, you'd have been like, really? Yeah. The girl from Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
I want Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan to make a Star Wars story.
There you go.
Set it post episode 9.
Call them. Kathy!
Make it happen.
Keep out of the legacy so that we don't have to have, anybody named Skywalker, nothing like that. Do something, just fucking take it and run with it because I'm here for it.
Give it
I'm
to
here
them.
for
it. Let him do it.
Or have Ryan Coogler make an adaptation of that book that's coming out in the fall. That's about Finn and Jannah, which I'm very happy about. But that should have been in the movies. I'm just saying it should have been in the.
Do you think that John Boyega would come back for them? I don't know. But I mean, even for the Coogler.
No, because John Boyega insulted all Star Wars fans when he talked about the racist Star Wars fans. It was just a racist Star Wars fan.
It was just a
racist.
I agree that
maybe you're mad because
I think he would come back with the right situation. Yeah,
with the right paycheck.
Definitely with the right paycheck, and definitely. But I don't think that would be the only thing. I do think that he would have to feel that he wasn't going to be a part of something where a whole bunch of people were misled and then not even let down gently. They were just booted off the fucking top floor of the building with no parachute.
Yep, don't give me
and I get it, things change and whatnot, but nah, dude, that's
be
careful
what you choose to misdirect and how.
Not stand for it.
You got to be very careful.
There are going to have to be some guarantees with this one. That you're not going to,
But that's why I think it would be awesome if it was something like you were saying, Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan or something like that. Something where not only is it somebody different telling the story, but somebody who understands why that was such a bad decision.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because some people I really don't think understand why that was such a bad decision. And they're not bad people. They just don't understand. And that happens. Yeah. But I think if you had the right thing.
And make a Michael B. Jordan, so many people would be upset.
No, don't do that that to Michael B. Jordan.
Yes! Do it. Do it. Yes! I want to watch the world burn, baby.
The only reason I'm just screaming because I don't want that for Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah. But
I love him. Don't do that to him.
You don't give a fuck about the
Michael B.
fools,
Jordan
though. But yeah.
Yeah. But the fools are louder in Star Wars. They're so loud.
They're only so loud because the vast majority of people aren't listening to them and therefore are not replying to them. That's the whole thing. You know, remember,
somebody pay attention to me.
10% of this country is on social media. So social media is not everybody.
Yeah.
It's really not. And don't ever let them make you think that the vast majority of Star Wars fans are not the fandom menace.
Yeah.
They're just not saying anything.
Yeah.
Damon Idris. Who's Damon Idris?
What?
Who's Damon Idris?
To the Google.
Talk amongst yourselves. I got this one.
Oh, he cute.
You know what? I'm not even gonna say anything because that's
FX show Snowfall, F1, Swarm.
All right, I'm in. Yeah, he's black. I'm in. You got me,
dude. What the hell?
What?
He's cute. I'm not gonna lie.
Need a black lead in a film. I'm just saying, it's been so long.
Yeah.
You fooled me once, twice.
Handsome and a good actor. Sign me up. Sign me up. Also, he is fine.
I'm just upset that I don't have a time machine because I would love to get like Joker aged Jack Nicholson in a Star Wars.
Who would he play? We're gonna have to wrap this up soon. Good God, this is the longest PooDoo.
It's the longest PooDoo of all time.
It may be.
Well, it was gonna be because Andor was the thing, and there was
yeah, true. But who would you have Nicholson play? Raven?
I don't know.
You can't just
Watto.
Like not have a.
Because when I think of Jack, I just think of somebody that has so much. He has the capability of being very warm and friendly, and yet at the same time still being absolutely terrifying.
Menacing as shit, dude.
And I can't think of anybody off the top of my head in Star Wars who is both of those things. Generally speaking, you know, Star Wars is very, you know, good side, bad side a lot of the time. So I can't really think of anybody, but just think about somebody bringing that intensity.
DJ's father. You couldn't see him play Benicio del Toro's.
You know what
no.
you know what the archetype.
Watto.
You know what the archetype I see for him though?
Only money.
Come on, that's so good. I just think he could be very good in a Dryden Voss type character role.
Ooh.
Because Dryden's like, he's menacing as fuck, but he leads with this charm and this, we're friends, right? We're friends until you get got.
I just think that there
very
are
Dryden Voss
stories on Coruscant, just in the workings of Coruscant and wealthy people and politicians and all that other stuff. You know, some of the stuff you see in the background
with the underworld, though. Corrupt politician.
Again, like,
Raven.
Can you see him as a corrupt politician on Coruscant?
Raven?
Yes?
What if he was, and I forget the name of the race, but what if he was the head of the Black Sun? Put him in that makeup.
He'd have a booth at my tavern.
Every night.
I forgot the name of the race. You know, Zizor's race, but I forgot the name of the actual race. But
Faline, something like that. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I think.
I love him. He's like one of my favorite characters. But I just think that Jack would be a very interesting Star Wars rich person on Coruscant who's up in everybody's business. Not like a mob boss, though. I would want him to be more sneaky than that. I'd want him to be out in the open for everybody to see, and yet they don't really know what they're seeing. A la Palpatine, being the Sith Lord, and yet everybody just thinks he's the Chancellor, that kind of thing. Yeah. But again, like I say, I just like, because that's what things like Andor and things like Rogue One and Bill Burr are bringing to Star Wars. Some of that just incredible, ridiculously different acting style than we're used to in Star Wars. Not bad, different, because there's a very different thing between a guy struggling with PTSD and how does he handle everything he's carrying around. And the same goes for, somebody like Bix. How does she handle all of the stuff, and everybody else? I think it would be really interesting to see some of these actors who we know are just like, I mean, when one word can mean you and people will know it means you're pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I say I want Jack to be this, most people know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, unless I'm talking about somebody who's 14 years old, because I don't think de-aging works that way.
Yeah. Dash Rendar.
Nobody.
You keep him in Legends.
Keep him far away.
You think, really?
I love Dash Rendar.
Yes.
Stop it. I love Dash
Keep him away. You fucking dollar store Han Solo bullshit. Get out of here.
Dollar store Han Solo, though, there is no question about it. But
get out of here.
Spaceballs, and it works.
True.
He is 100% Lone Star energy.
Yeah, exactly.
What is DH Bill Pullman and bring it back?
There we go.
That's exactly what we need.
I'm just saying, like, I like the idea of just thinking about those different things, because again, what we're seeing now with all these different types of storytellers in the shows that have different directors for each episode and so on and so forth. Like, there is so much to think about with Star Wars now that I don't think we thought about before. And I just, I would love to see something. I mean, obviously not Jack, because not now, but I'm just saying.
I'll take it now.
I mean, I would definitely let him do whatever the hell he wants, because he's Jack. But I'm just saying, like, Jack back when he was in the Joker would be more the Jack I would be looking for.
Peak. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of this dude, but Christian Harloff had an amazing idea. About an anthology show just called Star Wars. And each episode is a different story anywhere in any of the timeline. Separate one-off story. And, genre, it could be like an Empire story. It could be a Rebel story. It could be, Syndicates, Underworld, all that shit, like anything. And like I have a series of episodes, and like whichever one is like the more famous ones, continue with those.
Yeah.
And make more stories. I think
that's what they're doing with
idea.
Visions.
Yeah.
That model would work amazing. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do more of that so we can have more storytellers and more different ways of seeing things, because multiple tellings of different things and different ways of looking at things are awesome. And I think that you never really know what you're going to like or what's going to hit for you until it does. Because again, like how many of us were watching that episode of The Mandalorian and Bill Burr pops up and they're like, well, what the hell is he doing here? I mean, not anything bad, but like, what the hell is he doing here? And then you're like, dude, I love this character. I hope he comes back. And then he does. And then he just absolutely melts your brain.
I know it won't be for long, I don't think, but you caught the tape. This is a record for us.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm proud of us.
Normally it was like 1 hour, that's it. The old days. But
Roke's not here to be like, all right, everybody, so that was, and none of us know how to do that.
Will go till it's dead and gone.
Yeah.
Like when somebody's not here to stop us, we just keep going.
Yeah. Pretty much.
That's me. I'm usually the one that keeps things on the rails.
Yes, I'm fully aware.
Not,
I'm also fully aware that you're
down.
not. I'm also fully aware that you're
easily
manipulated, and
I didn't do. Did I do that?
That was me. That was my bad.
Did you kick Claire out?
No, I didn't do it. It wasn't me.
I was gonna go take a sip, but I didn't want you to hear my ice, so I tried to mute myself, and I booted my face.
That sounds like an interesting description. I booted my face.
I booted my face. Anyway.
Rabbit cur indeed.
God.
Oh my god, I miss Snoke.
Yeah.
Oh god. He would have been a great Snoke, but
wild.
Well, the Millennium Falcon.
I think that would have been too easy. I think that would have been too easy and too typecasting.
Yeah.
He would need to be something different than that.
Yeah. It'd be funny though.
Yeah.
I'd like it.
I mean, the crazy guy in Narkina 7, like,
Yeah.
That would have been hilarious.
Oh,
Him
man.
playing off of Andy Serkis.
Oh, that'd have been amazing.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah. Well, it's been a long one, guys.
It has.
It has.
I have another thing to make me go cry tonight. After this, so.
Yeah. Oh, is it the finale?
No, but the end of last week's episode teased a part of the game where I'm like, oh, this is gonna make me cry. Cool.
Oh, see,
We're at this thing. Neat. Real neat. I'm fine.
So we have to make sure that we talk about Last of Us next week because we.
Don't worry, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. Why is every single show I'm watching trying to kill me? Everyone.
No.
All of them.
Hell
Him
yeah.
next to Mace Windu. Him and Sam Jackson riffing off each other.
I can see that going.
I don't
so
trust
wrong
this
and so
motherfucking
right.
Skywalker at all. I don't trust him either. I think he's not a good guy.
Oh no!
I love it.
I'm going to keep my eye on that.
Jack Nicholson as Kiadi Mundi.
How old am I? Who knows? But it's all right.
Who knows? Why I got a head that looks like a penis? Who knows?
Who knows why it's like that? I ain't got extra brains up there.
Oh, goodness gracious me.
All right.
Woo! Well, everyone out there, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank y'all so much. And, you showed up. Hey,
buddy.
Yeah. Don't worry, we'll give you a reason to dance in a second because the music's about to hit. Yeah. Yeah. Is he Claire? Is he paid up already?
I don't know. I think he's only halfway paid up. I think only one payment has come through.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't.
Yeah.
I gotta check.
Well, Swift, they're doing a remake of it. But not.
That show you had no business being in. Oh my god! Everyone jumping back on it.
Yeah, get ready, buddy. It's an all-white cast. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be great.
That is so irresponsible, though.
He's on down. He's on down the road.
Chris do that.
Kidding. That's terrible. I shouldn't do that.
Unbeatable.
Not a single melanin cell in sight in the entire production. No melanin in sight.
Just... Claire, let them know where you're going to be at this week.
Well, because Andor is over, BX Gaming is going back to its... I can't. BX Gaming is
With
going...
a Z.
With a Z. Chris replies not the words.
I'm trying so hard not to look at the comments because you children are out of hand.
Look into the camera, Claire. Say your thing.
Yep.
because Andor's Over BX Gaming is going back to its normal slot on Tuesday night. So this Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, Roke and I are continuing our Uncharted playthrough. It's a lot of fun. I like that game. We have a blast. So yeah, Tuesday nights, back to our normal shenanigans. And then you can catch me on the Imperial Senate podcast tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern. Nikki Kumar and I are going to be on the Imperial Senate podcast talking about Andor. Let's just reopen all this trauma and just spill it all out for you again. It's fun. It's great. I feel good about it.
It's going to be amazing.
I feel great. I love
I'm working through it.
I'm fine. So you can do that. But anyway, keep up with everything I do at C-Stribs everywhere on the social media.
So, Raven, tell them where you're not going to be.
I'm not anywhere, but I have friends everywhere.
That's right. That's right. And honestly, true.
That was amazing. And I'm going to work on that shirt now, too.
Yes.
You can catch me working on, we have 3 Star Wars comics coming out this week. So 3 new quick shots will be out. We have one for the Legacy of Vader, the Kylo Ren story.
Yeah! Woo! Woo! It's so good! I do it! Go look at it. Sorry, do your thing.
It's good.
It's good!
So we're doing that one. We have the High Republic Adventures, which both High Republic Adventures and the High Republic proper series through Marvel. Those Dark Horse and Marvel. Those will be coming out tomorrow. Those are nearing their ends as well, since the whole initiative is coming to an end. So we got those. Yeah. Okay, yeah, you can say that. You know, if it was like Coop or something like that, I'd be like, shut up, youngin'. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, don't start on me. Who knows what could happen?
No.
We're in the uncharted territory right now. As far, but yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. So you catch me there, and then this week, for a Broaxium Outpost, we got a new figure in. It's a new Black Series figure, Luminara Unduli, from Attack of the Clones. This figure is beautiful. It's got like cloth clothing and whatnot. It's so dope. It looks beautiful. But every time I look at it, I think of where she ends up
being a total dick.
No,
and then
and then getting all mummified and whatnot. And look on
that was a bummer. That was a big old bummer.
It worked for King Tut.
It didn't work for her.
Did not work for her.
They tried to make it work, but that was horrible.
I just hadn't said anything smart in a while, so you know.
It's true.
King Tut.
It's true.
Funky Tut.
Now I'm thinking of Steve Martin. All right, y'all. You guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us, and we will. Oh, I was just about to sign off. This guy.
Hi, Phil.
Hey, Phil.
You secret shiz. You and your secret shiz.
Are you working on secret Star Wars stuff? Don't tell me.
Ooh, secret
don't
stuff.
Tell me.
We love secret stuff.
No, don't get fired by telling us, but tell us.
Yeah. Don't get. Just remember, if you're working on the Star Wars story,
blink
you can
twice.
Always create a cartel called the Brothers of Coaxium. Think about it.
Think about it.
It would work. It would fit right in.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Don't listen to me. Listen to me.
What do we know?
It's gonna be awesome. Do it. All right, everyone. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us, and we will see you next week. And may the Force be with you.
Weekends end, but hearts ignite. Tuned in close for Sunday night. The PooDoo Croo, they make it clear. This is the moment we all cheer. PooDoo Croo, the Broaxium flow.